Okay, so we're starting off this JavaScript series with objects, and we'll be looking at object creation. So there are two ways to create an object. There are two ways to create an object. We have object literal, which is the first way, and to create an object literal means you are literally just creating an object. So this is what I mean by that. So let me say you want to create a person, so const person, and you just initiate the curly braces, then you can say name John, age 30, and you can even have a function inside an object. So this is an object literal because you're literally just creating the object and inserting the properties and values all at once. The second way is using an object. So you're using an object constructor. So something like this. So you want to say const, let's say person2 equals to new object. So this is the using an object constructor, and we hardly use this way of most of the time you use the first one using an object literal. So now we've created an object named person2, then we'll now insert the key value per. So we'll do this by saying person2.name equals to Jane, person2.age, and all that. So if I should console.log person2, so if I should console.log person2 and run it, so we have name and this, have it here. And if I should console.log person and also run, we have John, we have everything here, and this is for person2. So we've seen the two ways of creating an object. We have the literal and the constructor, but most of the time we use the literal in creating an object. It's just simpler and straightforward. So now how do you insert properties, remove properties, update, and do all that fun stuff in an object? So if you want to add a property, we can use the dot notion, or we use the bracket notion. So adding properties, we're using the dot notion. So using the dot notation. So what you are doing here, let's use the person. Okay, so for the person one, what do we have here? We just have his name and we have his age. So if I want to add, maybe if he's married, we can use person one. So what we'll say is person one dot married, then we can add the boolean true, that's if he's married. Then we can also add arrays, so person dot children, so I want to add the property children, and we're saying he has this children there. So if I should just console log person, already have that here. Sorry, this is console logging before, so let me just drag this down and console log person. So we can see that for person one, we have John, who is 30. This function here, he's married and he has 2 children. So this is for the dot notation. So we say person dot married. So the married is the property, the true is the value. We can add arrays. We've seen how we've added it here. And if we want to use the bracket notation, so I'm going to use bracket notation for, let's say, person two, and I want to ask if he's married. If she's married, no, so it's false. And I just come over here and console log person2. So look at it here, person2, Jane, married, false. So I've added this new property to person2. And if I want to update person2, so let's say person2 is now married, I can just update this to true. And if I console log, you can see person married is true. Now if I want to delete, so to delete you just add the delete operator. So delete person2, and what property do I want to delete? Age. And if I console log person2 now, can see that age has been removed from person 2. So that's how that's for creating, updating, deleting, and just performing the CRUD operation on objects. So if you want to access a nested property in your object, let's do something like nest.js, creating a new file. I just want to copy this from where I'm doing this. Okay, so I have this property here and I want to access. So you can see this property is pretty nested. It's a username, and this is the schema of this, the shape of this object. So it's nested, like work is nested into the, let's see, so we have work and we have company that is nested in work, and location, I think these ones are on the same path and all that. So let me just show you how you can access, let's say we want to access projects. So we're starting with let me bring this down, console.log. So user, I'm using the dot notation, so I want to get the user, and let's get the work. From the work we'll get to project, and we're going to get to this first one. So user.work, from the work, let's see how it's from the work, we'll get to company, and the project, it's inside the company and it's an array. So dot work, from the work will enter the company because the company is nested in the work. So dot company, and the project is inside, look at it, the project is inside the company. So dot project, and since the project is an array, it's since it's an array, we're going to use the index method. I want to get the first one, so we're going to use the index 0 project. Okay, let's spell it well. So we're console logging this. So let's run node nest.js, and you see we're getting the first one. So we're getting the recipe finder and the stack. So if we want the first stack too, since it is let's see, stack, if we want the second one, so let's see what this will give us. So this is the second stack, sorry, yes, the second stack inside this first one. If we want this third stack, since it's 0 index base, we start at 0, so the third one will be 2, and the third one will give us MongoDB. And if we want this second object, we're just going to do this and run this to give you CSS, because we're looking for the third stack in it. So this is how you access properties from your object. So you just follow the nesting of the objects and you're able to access your properties. So in our next video we'll be looking at arrays in JavaScript. Yeah.